I'm Jennifer Shinkai, host of Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai, a podcast filled with heart-to-heart, long-form conversation between me, an executive coach based here in Tokyo, and my guests, a diverse group of people finding their sense of Ikigai in a host of different ways that are much more nuanced and expansive than a simple and kind of boring four-part Venn diagram. Before we dive into the episode, please do like and subscribe so that you don't miss our next video. And if you want to get in touch with me about coaching for yourself or for your organization, feel free to drop me a DM. Let me know what you think of today's episodes in the comments. Can't wait to hear your takeaways. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai, wherever you are listening from in the world today. We're recording this episode at the beginning of 2024, and I'm very happy to have my guest, Tengyo Kura, a vagabond, with us today. Tengyo's a really fascinating guy, and I haven't had many chances to chat with him, but when I have spoken to him as part of the Kyojima Expo, I've always found that you are really passionate, interesting, a connector of people, very insightful, and seeming to have just a very different perspective on the world. And so after you interviewed me at the expo, what did we call that event? The Kyojima Expo, we had like the Expo.
Yeah, it was Sumida Mukojima Expo. That's the name of the event.
Yes.
And after Expo is the name of our interview session.
Yeah. And so then I was like, hang on, this is a great opportunity to bring your perspectives to the listeners of Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai and to think about vagabondism, which is the way that you live your life and its connection to Ikigai.
Yeah.
So maybe before we get into vagabondism, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and why you're here?
Why am I here? Because you invited me.
At many levels, on the planet,
many
in
levels,
the world.
sure.
Yes.
I got it. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Tengyo. Tengyo Kura is my full name. And then I'm a vagabond and I write some stories. So sometimes I call myself also a storyteller. Basically, I started living outside Japan. I was born in Japan, grew up in Japan. First part of my life in Japan, I lived in a countryside, and then later I moved to Tokyo. But anyway, when I realized that I really wanted to do for my life, it was actually doing martial arts. And then I chose to learn that martial arts. It's called a mixed martial arts. It's an MMA. It's a combat sport. Yeah, I decided to do it in the USA. So I went to Los Angeles and lived there for a couple of years. That was my first experience to live outside Japan. So since then, my vagabond life slowly started and rolling, and then I ended up in living in this way after like 20 years.
Yeah, I think it was, I saw like 2001 was like the first time that you lived. And what countries have you lived in that period?
The time I was in the USA, and then afterwards, okay, I realized that I was not made for like fighting.
Okay.
I realized that my joy was to share something what we have. So I felt like maybe I could do something else than fighting and competing. And then luckily, my English teacher told me that I could to be an English teacher in the future, to live around the world and to share what I have with other people. So then and I thought like it was a good idea.
Mm,
So I took his course and I became an English teacher. Then I moved to Mongolia.
right.
And then, yes, I was an English teacher at the university in Mongolia for 1 year. But then, quickly I realized that I wasn't good enough as an English teacher because I'm not a native English speaker. So I I went to I went back to America again and went to a university to become a Japanese language teacher. It's funny
Mm,
that you study being a Japanese teacher in the USA.
yeah.
It's a bit funny, but anyway, I chose that university because that university was famous for training Japanese teachers.
Mm,
So yeah, I went there. It's a Cornell University
right.
in the New York States, and then I became a Japanese teacher. Then went to Sri Lanka and so on, so on. Kept teaching in Norway for 4 years, uh, like contemporary Japanese culture. I
Mm,
taught, and afterwards I went to Latvia, also an European country, to teach Japanese language and the Japanese culture at the secondary school.
mm,
So like that, as a teacher, I moved. Yeah,
yeah. So the teaching role is the maybe like the engine that moves you around. But
probably.
but you're also a storyteller. So how does this connect and how does this all tie up into what you think of as a vagabond?
Yeah. First, I, as a teacher, I always try to entertain my students.
Mm,
For example, when I went to Mongolia and then, I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to teach at the university. So my students would know the certain level of English.
yeah.
Then I could teach English in English, something
Mm,
like that. But then I found out that my students even didn't know ABC.
mm,
Um, they came from the countryside of Mongolia. At the time, the people living in the countryside or living a nomad life, they didn't have an opportunity to experience any English cultures, like TV in
yeah.
English, movies in English, nothing. Texts, books, basically in Russian or Mongolian. So I needed to teach from the really like a basic. Then the university wanted me to make their English level really high, but the reality of the student level
Mm,
is not that high. And then I was sandwiched.
right.
Yeah. So then I took the student side. You know, I didn't want to give them kind of negative experiences by learning English. I wanted to encourage them. I wanted to just tell them that they are good enough to challenge their own life, to create their own life by themselves. So I just used, teaching English as a tool to empower my students. So I ignored my university's requirement or
Yeah.
request, and then I just focused on supporting and encouraging my students' feelings through teaching English. And then I discovered my way to do that is to tell my stories or tell stories from other people, and then, you know, not to teach specific like English grammars, but just using a minimum volume of English knowledge, then turned them into like telling stories that they could feel that life was theirs, their life could be changed by themselves if they wanted. Stories have many, many lessons and teachings inside. And even the students were young at the time, and then, they didn't know much about the world, but still they could feel that somebody's story close to them, and then they felt like they were, the same. They could be capable to change their life by themselves, something like that. So, yeah. Then I also really liked telling stories.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a funny story, sometimes it's a sad story. But anyway, I felt very much connected when I told stories to my students. I felt a strong connection between me and my students. And that gave me a big joy, like a pure joy,
right,
to be with them. So I was a teacher, but at the same time, I was probably already a storyteller in the classroom, wherever I was, in Mongolia, in Sri Lanka, in Norway. And um, it was funny. Now we can laugh about it, but anyway, when I was teaching in Latvia at the secondary school, uh, one of my students, she was probably one of the best and one of the most serious students in learning Japanese.
right.
She always asked me, Tengyo, please teach me something today. Don't do not tell stories, just teach me something, because I always forgot teaching Japanese academically and professionally.
Right.
I always focused on telling stories to my students. So,
Right. Well,
yeah,
have the pattern of the language and the different use, and there's many
sure.
many
Yes,
examples
yes,
within there. But
yes.
it seems
I gave.
carry on, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, no, no. I gave her. I gave that student extra lesson
Right.
individually after the classroom.
Afterwards to
But
make up. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Because I told her when she asked me, please teach me something today, and then I said to her, come on, look at your classmates now. Now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They were all exhausted. Early in the morning, they started learning, and now they need to relax. So I must tell my stories.
Yes.
So that was my excuse.
It's true though. That's like the hard part of the day, like the post lunch timing, and people are
Yes,
starting to digest, and they need
yes.
a different methodology to get them ready for learning again. So
No,
I
yeah, I
totally understand.
really, true. I really appreciated my students coming to the school every day from early morning till the afternoon, staying in the classroom. You know, outside the school, there is the real world where they could really learn something about life, but they chose or they had to stay in the classroom and listening to teachers. There was, in a way, no choice. And I felt very much grateful that they were with me. Even the world was, inviting them to experience more. But yeah, so that's why I um, I tried my best to share what I had with my students at the maximum level.
Mm,
um, rather than just teaching Japanese grammar that they could forget in 1 week or something.
right. Yes. So trying to use that that platform that you have as an educator to not only be by the book, but also by the
Mm,
story, right?
yeah.
Through the storytelling. And I love what you described. And Tengyo, before you said, as I was expressing myself, I was getting this feeling of pure joy. And
Mm,
I wondered if there's a connection there with the sense of Ikigai can, the feeling of
mm,
Ikigai.
mm.
What do you think about where your Ikigai comes from?
Probably I just love to communicate with
Mm,
people, just love to share our joy together. So always people comes first
mm,
in my joy.
yeah.
So that's why storytelling is the best way, including teaching, but the storytelling is the best way to create that joy for me.
Mm,
So Ikigai probably is to see my friends, my family, my people kind of feel, uh, well, preferably happy,
yeah.
but anyway, you know, to feel connected.
Mm.
Yeah, we are not alone. That's what I want to share, and that's probably the Ikigai for me.
When you
Mm,
said that we are not alone, I just got goosebumps. Torihara.
mm, mm,
Um, and I was wondering about, sometimes my clients come to me and say, oh, I don't feel like I'm a very good communicator. I need to
mm,
improve my communication skills. So I wonder,
mm,
maybe it's hard for you to explain because it's just natural, your natural skill, but
mm,
how can people communicate in a way that helps people to feel connected or to feel they are not alone? What can we
mm,
do
mm,
to make that feeling in the space?
mm. I think I I tried to I tried not to uh, generate too much expectation between me and the other people in
Mm,
communication. Like I I try um, not to believe that we should understand each other.
ooh,
So for me, communication starts, we cannot understand each other fully. We can understand to a certain extent, but we can't really understand who we are, what we are completely, not 100%. So I I just don't have that kind of expectation. Then from that uh, point, I think we can respect each other as an individual
mm,
because we are different anyway. Maybe we can share the same feelings, same sensations in a way, but it doesn't mean that we can understand each other completely.
mm,
So that's why um, I I feel take it easy. Like I know I feel kind of careless, like how much they could understand me. That's okay. I just I just tell them my respect and appreciation that they are there with me. And then other other things like information or the things are not so important for me.
mm,
This is what I learned through my vagabondism. Like
yeah,
wherever I go and meet people who have different languages, different communication ways, different culture and traditions. It's okay for me to not to understand each other, to make some misunderstandings fine, as long as I tell them my respect and appreciation about their existence. So this is what I learned. Love and the respect.
Yeah.
These two are the keys to be connected.
That's absolutely fascinating, because I think when like you're operating within your own culture, there's an assumption, isn't there, that we assume, especially like in a culture like Japan, where just people assume we all have the same background. It's high context culture, so we're all going to understand. It's atarimai, it's obvious. It's the something is futsu, it's normal. When you travel overseas, you go, well, of course we're probably not going to understand each other. And I'm in an international marriage, and sometimes my husband will say something and I'm sure I say something, and if someone from our culture had said that, we'd be like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. But because I love what you say, like, it's okay that we don't understand each other. Actually, it's expected that we don't understand each other. I think that's a really great reminder. And I feel like I can understand that when I travel. Like, of course, someone in Ulaanbaatar, I don't know anything about like how they live their life. So yeah, we're probably gonna misunderstand each other. But I sort of feel, well, this person is also living in Tokyo. There are things that we know about how we live our lives, but that's just assumption, right? It's just assumption, and it's not based on anything. So actually, it's very freeing to go with, we're probably not going to understand each other. And I don't think many people approach communication like that. I feel like a lot of people expect there'll be a certain level of things which I can assume is how you're going to see the world. Because we're both living in Tokyo and we both went to university, or we're both working for this company. Right? So we should understand each other. Yeah, so I love what you say there. That's very, very helpful for me. Very freeing. Yeah. So you spoke a little bit then, Tengyo, about your vagabondism journey. And I want to get, first of all, the definition, because I think we didn't define it yet, what it means to you. And if I want to say I'm a vagabond, I think I'm not a vagabond at all. But why do I think I'm not a vagabond? Tell me what a vagabond is for you, Tengyo.
Okay. As far as I learned, the original word of vagabond had been used as a negative word, negative term, like a people who have no job, or who have no house, or who have some what do you say, alcohol problems, or like that. But those people who live kind of outside the social system, this is my personal opinion, but I see some possibilities that those people living outside the social system could bring new values to the society, which is created by kind of fixed ideas and common senses. It's okay when people live in the social system happily and with satisfaction. That's fine. That's fine. But if somebody who feel confusion or frustration by living in that fixed ideas, living under social pressure, and then they feel that they are not important compared to what do you say, collective happiness of
Yeah.
people living in society, then I feel sad because always I feel that um, well, this is probably because I grew up in Japan.
Yeah.
I I went through this Japanese education system and traditions, and then what how they control students or even Japanese parents, typical Japanese parents, I might say, they teach kids like you should not do that because other people also try not to do it.
Mm.
You know, um, always look at other people. If you do that, think how they feel about you. You know, like I feel like this individual child cannot cultivate his or her sense of self-respect when he or she has been always said, you know, we don't care about your feelings or
Mm.
thoughts. We care about the people, group mentality.
Yeah.
Their happiness is more important than your individual happiness.
Mm.
This kind of teaching, sometimes it works out. But to me, well, it's for small kids, it's very difficult to cultivate their sense of self-respect when nobody listen to them,
Yeah.
um, and they only care about other people's feelings. And I think it's not healthy for me. So I grew up in that situation, and then
Mm.
I had a very big frustration and confusion when I was young.
Mm.
But I couldn't say that with my words because I was
Yeah.
too young to do it. And now I understood why I was so frustrated or confused at
Mm.
the time. Yeah. So to me, everybody, once they are born, everybody is blessed and welcomed by this world anyway.
Mm.
Afterwards, if we cannot be friends, then let's think about how we can avoid hurting each other.
Mm. Yeah.
Like this. Uh, to me, like a true communication is should be used for this way, not to be liked by everyone or not to be popular among
Mm.
friends. No, but not to hurt other people
Yeah.
or how to cultivate or how to encourage each other to cultivate our sense of self-respect.
Mm.
So yeah, I so that's why you know we are talking about what a vagabond is,
Yes. Yeah,
right? So
we've gone,
yes,
but I know
yes,
what I just want to highlight what you've shared there about. I think it's
mm,
important for listeners, especially outside of Japan, who maybe sometimes have a rose-tinted glasses view of, Japanese collectivism and
hmm,
how everybody is looking out for other people, and it can be really beautiful, as you say,
sure,
and for
sure,
when it works really
mm,
well.
mm,
But when people, as you described your personal experience, and I see this in my kids, my daughter is a futoko,
mm,
so going, actually,
hmm,
this isn't working for me, this environment is not working for me.
mm,
um, and many people, I think, are feeling this but don't have the
mm,
language. Like you said, as a child you couldn't articulate it, but I think maybe
mm,
when people also becoming adults,
mm,
something shameful to put their
mm,
self-respect in the center.
mm,
It's a lot
mm,
of social programming that needs to be rebalanced,
Mm,
perhaps. So I really appreciate how you've shared that and how you've brought that into this
mm,
space
yes,
so people can hear
yes,
it from you.
yeah.
And then how this
So,
connects to vagabondism, like living outside of this system, right? This is
yeah,
very risky.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. So, I think it's quite challenging to live as a vagabond in this,
Mm,
especially in Japan,
yeah.
because people usually want to know who you are and
Mm,
what you do and what is your title
yes.
and
Yeah,
your
yeah.
education background and so on
Yes.
so on. But
I'm just
to
thinking
me,
when in Japan, when we introduce ourselves with like the business card, I'm like,
yeah,
this company, this
hmm
division, this
hmm
title, and this is my
yeah,
name.
yes,
This is like the last thing,
sure, sure.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of confusing for me. And then I always want to meet the pure existence of that person,
Mm,
not his title, not his job, not his career. I
yeah.
just want to focus on meeting his or her soul,
Mm,
or pure existence, I would say. So anyway, because vagabond doesn't have any title, any job, or anything like proper background, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, vagabond is a very, very uncertain figure
mm,
to the society. And it's very difficult to be categorized. And
yeah.
then, and also in Japan, it's a new idea to say, I'm a vagabond, you know.
Mm.
Everybody asks me like, what is vagabond? Who is vagabond, And I say, yeah, well, vagabond is a person who doesn't belong to a particular community or particular idea, so on, particular group. Uh, so I want to show, especially kids or new generation, that uh, they don't have to follow the social context to be accepted by your friends or your family or your social groups.
Mm,
You know, you can be anybody or you can be actually nobody to be loved or to be cared and to be accepted by other people, you know. So today, kids are in under great pressure that they have to prove who they are and how good they are and then how capable, how productive they are to be
mm,
respected or to be recognized as a good member of society. And it's not true. We don't need to prove anything to be accepted by society. We are born, we are in this world, and it's good enough.
mm,
So to me, I just use a vagabond to tell other people that um, identities coming from society or other people or outside your own passion and joy, they're they're not so important at in the end of your life.
mm,
So it's kind of my experiment
yeah.
to use myself.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what are you learning in this experiment? What have you learned about yourself and about how other people respond to your experiment?
Actually, the people's response has been very much positive.
Mm,
Um, Luckily, I lived in different regions, different countries, and I was nobody there. I was a pure stranger to the people living in there, and some of them accepted me as a friend. Some of them accepted me even as a family member,
mm,
and they still call me, for example, a son
mm,
or my brother or something, and they mean it, and they keep waiting for my return.
Mm.
So through that experiences, I I became able to really believe in humanity and love.
Mm. That's beautiful. And what advice would you have for someone who's like, wow, I love what Tengyo's talking about. I like to experiment a little with vagabondism for myself. What do
Mm.
people need to know before they make this
Well,
step?
then,
Mm.
yeah, I would say physical distance of movement is not what vagabondism is.
Yeah.
What vagabondism is, um, uh, your, well, how how much your uh, your heart is moved,
Mm.
yourself is moved. When you see, for example, a tiny little flower in bloom just outside of your house or along your regular
Yeah.
walking street,
Mm.
when you don't feel anything about this tiny, trifle but beautiful thing in your daily life, to me, it doesn't make sense if how far you go
Yeah.
around the world
Mm.
or how many countries you have traveled. I think to me, it's more important to keep your heart always, um, how can I say, sensitive
Mm.
or yeah, um, yeah, just like
Like
that.
that openness. It's sort of, maybe true the true vagabondism is how you can be a vagabond in your own community without stepping foot anywhere. I think when you
Exactly.
travel halfway across the world,
Hmm.
it's
Mm.
easy because
Yes.
yeah, as you said, like I'm the stranger. So people
Hmm.
don't have expectations of you. But
Mm.
actually to within your own community that you are part of, the roles that you play, the different connections you have, to actually say that no, these identities are not important to me.
Mm.
And I want to meet you, heart to heart without those
Yes.
things. And
Yes.
what I'm willing to release of the social expectations or be a little bit outside of people's, the social system, as you said. I think that's maybe the ultimate test of vagabondism is to physically move nowhere,
Hmm.
but you
Yes.
don't have to have an ultimate test. It's not a competition. I think that's anti-vagabondism, but that's why you
Mm.
moved from fighting, right? So I'm the best vagabond. I don't think there's an award, right?
Mm. Mm.
Um, but maybe I'm thinking, because for many people, they might think, oh yeah, I have to go to somewhere to discover myself. But what can we discover on our doorstep?
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. So when you have an eye to discover something new in usual things in your daily life,
Mm.
even like between your friends, sometimes you discover a different side of your friend and you are shocked or you are surprised, you are amazed.
Mm.
That's also vagabondism.
Right.
You dive into something you care or you love or you encounter generally, and you try not to be afraid, scared of being exposed to unknown, and you accept that unknown things,
Mm.
and you realize that those unknown things actually or experience of encountering unknown changes yourself. So you keep changing yourself by discovering something unknown, diving into unknown.
Mm.
And that's probably the essence of vagabondism, I think.
The sort of
So physical
preparing.
movement is not
Not the
important.
point. Yeah, it's not the
Not the
image of
point.
someone with a stick and a handkerchief on the back. This is what I
No,
always
no,
think
no.
of. No.
That's an old school of
Yes.
vagabond.
Yes, it's not it. But so
Mm,
the preparing for surprise, for preparing for wonder and the unknown, and
yeah.
as you said, not having earlier those expectations that we will understand each other. The expectation is the opposite. The expectation is we know
Mm,
nothing
mm.
about each other. Oh, it's very
I
it's full of possibility, as you said before.
yes, I know it's not so comfortable to deal with unknown.
Mm,
I know that, and then I also went through that kind of feelings. But if you believe in yourself, then you could dive. Then you understand actually how tolerance the other people are, or
mm,
the world is,
yeah,
um, about you. So,
right. There's
mm,
more space than we expect.
mhm.
People will forgive you, or people will be open for you in ways you
Sure,
might.
people, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
Mm,
beautiful. Thank you, thank you.
mm.
We're nearly towards the end of our time, sadly. So I'm going to ask you my final two questions, which I ask all my
Yes,
guests. And the
okay.
first question is, what is a question I haven't asked that you wish I had asked? Something you just want to talk about.
Nothing. Your questions were wonderful.
Well, I have
And
I have one I have one other question then, which is I'm just wondering about future plans. Do vagabonds make plans, or like what's next for you?
there is no plan, but well, but there is always hope.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah,
So maybe it's not relevant to you, but hope is always there in my life.
yeah,
And yeah, it doesn't matter if I make plan for that or not, that's fine. But I always hope that um everybody can feel that they are respected and they are loved by the world, no matter who they are. The world is my hope.
oh, hope. Hope is a great value, a great word. I think it's so important. And I think
Yes.
the times when things, I'm just thinking from my personal situations, when I feel hopeless is the worst. When I think there's no
Mm,
way out of this, I
mm,
can't see I can't see any escape or any
mm,
way this is going to change. Yeah,
yeah.
being without hope, being hopeless is maybe the opposite. I feel like hope is a very important element of Ikigai. To
Hmm.
believe that tomorrow is coming and tomorrow will be
Hmm.
different. Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I prefer having hope
Mm,
to having plans.
right.
As long as I have hope, my body moves anyway, and that becomes kind of plan. But
Right.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. And what are you
Yeah,
hoping for in 2024 then?
I don't know. Every morning I feel like I'm a new, I'm a like I'm new to this world. Every
Mm,
morning. Then I just should do my best every day, like putting my pure joy, passion, respect, and appreciation to what I encounter.
wonderful. And do you
Mm.
have, maybe that was it, but do you have a final message for the audience of Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai? Something they can take away with them, just one thing from our conversation today.
I don't know, but anyway, I want to tell uh who have been watching this.
Mm,
Thank you very much for sharing your time, the valuable moment of your life, just being with us, and maybe we will meet somewhere in this world someday.
yes, yes, I really
So
hope so. Thank you. Thank you. So
Vagabondism must go on.
Vagabondism must go on. Yes, join him, but don't join him because it's outside the social system. So you have to be outside. It's not a movement of
Yeah,
yeah,
in their own lives, yes,
yes,
vagabondism
in your own way.
can be done in anywhere, in any time.
Wonderful. Thank you. And
Mm.
Tengyo, we're going to put in the show notes, your website, how people can contact you. So if they want to hear you, you have a beautiful website with gorgeous
Thank
photos of
you.
some of the stories, so people can
Yeah,
check those out and continue to be entertained and inspired from that, heart-to-heart communication that you have had. So
yeah,
all that remains me to say is thank you so much for your time. It's a really deep conversation today. I have lots to think about as to how to apply this to my own life and as a parent as well, the expectations I'm putting on my kids. So thank you for sharing that perspective as well. I'm sure my children will be very pleased to hear that too. So thank you so much, Tengyo. And yes, I hope to see you somewhere around
yes.
the world.
But yeah, thank you very much, Jennifer, for giving me this opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much. Thank
Yeah, I had
you.
a really good time with you. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today. I really hope that you found something you could take away from the episode to help you find your own Ikigai and integrate it into your daily life. And I'd love to hear exactly what resonated with you. So pop over to see me on LinkedIn or on my Facebook page. You can find the links in the show notes below. And let me know what you thought was the most important takeaway from the podcast today. And sharing is caring, so feel free to share this episode with one of your friends who you think could benefit from hearing about living a life of purpose. Looking forward to see you on the next episode of Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai.